My name is Bonnie Stewart. I am a social media researcher, a PhD student, and sometimes an instructor in the Faculty of Education at UPEI. I've also been working for almost 30 years. I started at the very young age of 13. I babysat for a couple of summers. I worked as a camp counselor. And then my first actual job was out at Green Gables House in Cavendish. But it took me probably the first 10 years that I was working to learn to actually work well, where I got more out of the job I was doing than just the sometimes very small paycheck. And the biggest key to that learning to work well was learning to see what needed to be done. Any kind of job you are ever going to have is part of a larger system, whether that system is as small as a family, in the case of a babysitting job, or as large as an entire government department or a university. It doesn't matter. There are always ways in which the things that you do can help keep other people from having to do extra work. And when you learn to see those things, you become a much more useful person. I did not know this the summer that I worked out at Green Gables. I was hired to play the illustrious role of Diana Barry and occasionally Marilla and even more occasionally Gilbert, because there were only two of us who were actually hired as actors for the summer. And what we did was we took tourists and visitors around the trails, around the house. We were doing quilting and different heritage activities like making butter and making ginger snaps. And I absolutely loved the job. I loved interacting with people. It was highly social. It was a lot of fun. We got to reenact the whole Diana gets drunk on cordial scene. Great stuff. The minute there were no tourists in front of me, I got out my book. I sat down on my big bow and I started to read. And about halfway through the summer, I remember a whole extra group of people showing up, and we went to make butter, and I realized I actually hadn't cleaned out the butter churn from the last time I had made butter, and that was really disgusting. Not really very nice for the for the visitors to experience. But I also missed out on a lot of opportunities to make myself useful to the person I was working for. This became fully evident to me when I did not get hired back for the next summer, not because I hadn't done a great job as an actor, but because basically I hadn't made myself a really valuable and useful part of the larger team and the larger organization. And it took me a couple more jobs to fully get that lesson together. But the more that you can look around and see the things that that need to be seen, that take away from somebody else's load, the more valuable you're going to be to whatever the organization is that you're working with. And so anytime you take a job, no matter how small or how humble, if you show that you can work hard and actually kind of pick up slack, then you're going to be valued for the things that you're contributing to that team. And I think that matters at absolutely any level. So I wish you huge luck in terms of finding work and getting the most out of the work that you do, but never be afraid to try to be a contributor, not just of ideas. I'm a great ideas person. It was really the sort of day-to-day stuff that it took me longer than it should have to learn to see. But yeah, never be afraid to contribute more than what you're being asked to do. And I wish you great luck with your work. Bye.